So, I have been looking through all these files, and I don't quite understand how I can have both of you on the show. Isn't Scotty floating around out there somewhere?
No worries, mate. I've got a bunch of Scotty clones on standby ever since I was first on the show.
Why do you have so many of these? No. I don't want to know.
No, you don't. No, you don't want to know, man.
Well, might as well unfreeze one and let's see where this takes us.
Welcome back, Scotty. We missed you, brother.
Oh, man, why did you unfreeze me? I was happy in there. I didn't have to relic any of me characters.
Man, you really have missed a lot, buddy.
We need a quick montage to get this show on the road, but meanwhile, this episode was pre-recorded in front of an audience of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good porg.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. Another is an epic content creator from Australia. The other is a territory war specialist, also from Australia. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With all of them playing this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways, a weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the satellite studios of the ANZGC, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre, Matty Hynes, and Scotty Mclaren.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast.
With Paul in the Pokey, I have enlisted an Aussie to co-host this week.
And I, as you heard, have resurrected Scotty to join us.
People are missing shards for Kiadi Mundi and Wat Tambor.
But CG, we'll worry about that next year.
So, while we're waiting, we talk about what we did for Christmas.
And then we get to talk about the year that was in our second segment, and then we give CG our report card.
I then sit down one-on-one with Hynesy to talk about harpoons and beer.
You know how much I love those two things.
And then we close out the year the best way we know possible.
Stay tuned for the conclusion. You don't want to miss it.
All this, and that's it. We're pre-recorded this week on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Escape Pod Cast. I'm your host, Neil Eyre, and I'm joined with Hynesy and a clone of Scotty. So let's see how good this clone of Scotty really is. Scotty, take it away, my friend.
Yes, it's nice to be back in the hot chair for this Christmas edition of the Escape Pod Cast. And look, fellas, we just got through Christmas. So first of all, how did you boys spend it? I'll start with Hynesy. Hynesy, mate, how was your Christmas, mate? What'd you do?
It was fantastic, man. Absolutely brilliant. As majority of years, I spent a lot of time with family. Spent some time with my wife's family on Christmas Day itself. Christmas Eve with my side of the family. So we do the run around. But over that 48 hours, dead set, I think I've eaten for Australia. It is unbelievable, my friend. We have gone. We've got the whole ham layout. We've got the whole chicken turkey layout. We go the whole way, mate, every year, and was wonderful as always to catch up with family members I haven't seen for quite some time this year. So it was absolutely wonderful.
So you did change your name to Hamsy for the day then?
I feel like a walking ham at the moment, mate. Dead set. So pretty full at the moment, but no, I've got plenty of time to chill out and relax, and I've got a few weeks off now, so looking forward to kicking back and spending some quality time with the family. It's wonderful.
Brilliant. Did Mon Calamari and the kids, mate? Did they get what they wanted from Santa?
Absolutely. Santa did the right thing this year. They're on the good list. So no, they've had a wonderful day, and I still get a buzz in the morning when they walk out there, and the kids, they're around sort of, the oldest is 13 and the other two are 8 and 5. So they lose their minds. They just run for that tree, and they just have a wonderful, wonderful time. I still get a big buzz out of that. I always have.
Fantastic.
So, cool.
Fantastic. Neil, how was your Christmas, mate? What did you do?
Oh my God, I have not left the kitchen all Christmas. Obviously, I'm at my parents', but obviously we have my sister and her family and her husband's family. So we had everybody over, not just on Christmas Eve, but on Christmas Day as well, because we did Thanksgiving at theirs this year. So it was Christmas at ours this year. So I did like this huge, and I do mean a huge pulled pork that took me like 12 hours to cook on Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, I did duck and roast beef. And it came out really, really, really nice. So everybody had fun. It was quite amusing watching all the women doing all of the scratch cards, because a big thing over here in the United States is to put scratch cards in people's stockings as a stocking filler for women. And I kid you not, it's like, they went through all of them. You got like 3 women all doing scratch cards all at the same time. So yes, it was good, and I had a really, really nice long FaceTime with my girls in the UK. Funnily enough, they already knew exactly what they were getting for Christmas. So when I asked them if they had any surprises, there were none to be had, because they basically picked out everything that they got for Christmas from their mother and their grandparents over there. So it sounds like they had a good time. And like I said, I was in heaven, because I was just cooking stuff left, right, and centre this Christmas. So fat and full, very fat and very full.
It wouldn't be a Christmas day at Neil Andrew Ayres' house, man, if you didn't do that Mr. Bean Christmas episode, where you had the turkey on your head and also the twigs from the tree outside. Did you have any of that going on there?
Yeah, maybe. No, but Mr. Bean is not the staple for Christmas Day. I'm sorry, but it has to be Die Hard. So had to be Die Hard. I demanded that it be put on the TV. Although National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was followed shortly afterwards.
Yeah, well, in my household, it was Home Alone, boys, and we were watching a bit of that and having a bit of fun and just hanging out with the dog and the wife, which was absolutely sensational. But look, let's turn our attention to the game. And I want to talk about guilds and what the guilds are up to. Each guild is up to throughout this Christmas period. Now, obviously, in each guild, you've got certain rules that you got to follow, like getting the 600, doing the raids and doing things like that. Hynesy, you are my guild leader. I wonder, what are we doing, mate, over this Christmas period? I haven't seen you announce anything yet. What's going on?
No. I was doing it. Obviously, at the end of the day, what we've done is it's pretty simple. We find, obviously, and the majority of communities are the same this time of year, that's super important to spend time with family. We do relax, obviously, a lot of requirements. We are a pretty high-end guild. And normally the 600s are a must, the 600 tickets and all the other events, obviously, you have to be very active in it. But basically from Christmas onwards until I think around the 1st or the 2nd of January, a lot of the actual activities are relaxed. There's really quite an embargo on what you want to do. You really don't need to, hit the 600s even if you don't want to, but I've got to admit the majority of people do anyway, just as it's routine. But we're certainly not monitoring things like that, whereas obviously the rest of the year it's something we obviously closely monitor. Join raids, don't join raids, up to you if you've got the time, if you want. But a lot of people are obviously away and just don't have the access to the phone service, specifically in Australia. For a lot of our members, so we certainly do relax it during that holiday period.
What about your guild, Nev? Neil?
Well, I'm in 3 guilds, because I have like multiple accounts. But to be honest with you, everybody has already started putting into the AFKs, going to be spending time with families. And I think it's kind of, it's not really something that's been announced, that people have to or don't have to do things. I think everyone just silently accepts it's Christmas, it's time for family. There's no need to do anything. I basically think that amongst the 3 guilds that I'm in, people will be able to do what they want, when they can. There's not really going to be any severe, there's not going to be any repercussions. Nobody's getting kicked over Christmas. I mean, if you're a guild leader and you kick someone over Christmas, you're an a-hole.
No, you're a Grinch.
Yes. Or a Scrooge.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not cool. Not this time of year. There's no need for that. Family's more important. This is a game. We've got to remember that from time to time. So obviously do what you want to do, but certainly you're not required to go overboard at this time of year.
Well, speaking of which, it looks like the developers have actually taken their leave as well. There was a post that came out earlier in the week, and it was from SB Crumb, where he says, "We are aware of an issue when completing special missions in territory battles, including Republic Offensive. It's some players are not receiving the rewards for special missions, specifically the Wat Tambor and Key Addimundi shards. They've been investigating this issue for Wat Tambor and Key Addimundi, and it appears to be related. They'll be updating us when they will be sending the players their missing shards, and how they plan to address this issue when they return in the new year. So that means that they're not even worried about that right now either. Capital Games, they've decided to go and take their leave as well. It's a bit like our Prime Minister heading off to Hawaii and not really spending time with us while we've got the fires. Hynesy, what do you think? What do you think about that?
I just find it very, very surprising that the game's got a bug in it, Scotty. Let's be honest, man. It's one of those things that, I'm just perplexed. Look, obviously very disappointing. I'm surprised that they're leaving it until the new year to address it. Obviously, they're in party mode already. As my wife said to me sometimes, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the best way to put it. I think that, again, on a lot of occasions, specifically during 2019, I think that there's a lot of occasions where, frankly, as a player base, we deserve better, man. And I think this is another example of it.
Neil, your take?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're kind of we've grown accustomed to bugs coming out. It's been like this for we've hit the year mark now, really, when you think about it, because the Game Changer program effectively defunct itself and kind of ended around November, December of last year. So we've had this bug and issue problem pretty much for 12 months. So it's old hat now. We see these things on the forums and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's a meme. Bugs have universally become memes. People are always doing memes about bugs. So it's nothing new. And to be honest with you, I don't begrudge them saying that they're not going to do anything on this until after Christmas, because, they're the devs and everybody working over at CG, they're people as well. They need time off to deal with, they need time off to deal with family issues and family gatherings and arrange for Christmas, just like everybody else.
But in the meantime, here's another pack. It seems that that's what's going on inside the game. It's just pack city at the moment. I mean, you guys have unthawed me, and here I am. I'm having a look, and I'm just like, what is this? This Hyperdrive bundle and all these other packs in there in the store. It seems as though they really want to have a good New Year's, boys.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, you've been away, Scotty. You really don't want to get me started on the Hyperdrive bundle, mate. You really, really don't. That is a stone that has been turned over and turned over and turned over, and you don't want me looking at that.
I think you're poking the bear, Scotty. I really do, man.
I will say that you missed out on the journey guide, and the journey guide was definitely a good addition to the game. A couple of issues. There's because we've had the journey guide for about a week now, just over, and there are a couple of issues in the journey guide that I've noticed. I have actually emailed off a couple of notes to CG Eric to find out what the deal is, because two issues that have raised their ugly heads as far as I'm concerned are the prerequisites for some of the events. You see, BB-8 and R2-D2, before the journey guide came, you were able to do those events before hitting level 85. But ever since the journey guides come out, can't do them until you hit level 85 now. And I don't think anybody's noticed it, because most people don't think of those early events as, end game content. It's purely for the new people. But it's there, and it's definitely a problem. I don't think it's fair on the new free-to-players to have to wait until level 85 to get someone like BB-8 and R2-D2, because, come on, they're such easy events. 5 random Empire characters at 5 stars to unlock your R2-D2 so that you can start gearing them up for GAC, but now you can't unlock them until you get level 85. So a couple of issues with it.
Well, you can do it before then. You just got to buy the Hyperdrive bundle.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Don't.
That's
go
right.
there, ladsy.
It's a 2-pronged attack today, Neil, my boy. Don't you worry about
The
that.
Hyperdrive bundle is...
Oh, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, isn't it?
Yes.
Something else that was also issued by the team over there was that the Galactic Legends events will not be available throughout the month of December. Guys, I've got to ask, what do you guys think of this? I mean, at the moment we've hit that lull period in the game once again. I guess this is the time to start catching up. What do you guys think about no Galactic Legends events being around as of now? I mean, I suppose we've got the General Skywalker, which has come back. That's a good thing for some, but what do you guys think?
I'm not ready yet, to be honest, Scotty, for the events anyway. Obviously, for the Ray one, you're going to need... I'm still farming my Rose Tico right now, mate. So she needs to be Relic 7 by the looks of things, probably. So why not? Because, everything else is pretty full on. So, I'm not quite ready for it anyway, mate. So there's no hurry from my point of view.
Yeah, I think it was wise. I do think it was a wise decision not to rush out the Galactic Legends in December. They may as well leave it out. They may as well leave it until January, because you're going to need 15 characters for the new Rey, 15 characters for the new Kylo. It's probably going to involve some of the new marquee characters that they've brought out, and unless people are actually spending and buying the packs in order to 7-star them, I can't see them bringing it out until they've actually put those on farmable nodes, the new characters on farmable nodes along with the old ones. So it's just going to be like, mad farming to get because it won't just be 15 characters. Obviously, it's going to be characters and ships. So to get the Rey, it's going to be the first order characters plus whatever first order ships, and then it's going to be exactly the same for the Rey. It's going to be all of the Resistance characters, including the Resistance. Including the Resistance ships. Although I will add one caveat to that. I'm really, really hoping that they do not, for the Rey, I'm really hoping that they don't include R2-D2 and C-3PO. I don't think it would be fair to add those. I think it should just be the bog standard Resistance characters. I think adding C-3PO and R2-D2 to it would be just a little bit too much.
So that'll happen then.
Yeah, I've jinxed the game. Oh my God,
exactly right. Don't give him an idea, Nev. Don't give him any ideas, mate.
Eric, if you're listening, just ignore everything that I just said in the last 5 minutes, mate.
I disagree. I think you will need them. R2-D2 and especially C-3PO. I mean, for those of you that have seen The Rise of Skywalker by now, he's one of the central characters, particularly in the Rise of Skywalker. R2-D2, I will admit, in the sequel trilogy, he hasn't done a great deal, which is not being good for little R2, but, I think he'll be needed. I think he will be. But anyway, look, we'll come back in just a moment on the Escape Podcast. Do not go anywhere, because coming up in just a moment, we're going to be talking about a couple of things that have happened inside the game in 2019.
The Escape Pod Cast with Neil Andrew Eyre, Matty Hynes, and Scotty Mclaren.
Matthias Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Matthias will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Matthias has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Matthias today on Discord at all lowercase Matthias number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at matthiasmods@gmail.com. Matthias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
56 bottles of blue milk on the wall, 56 bottles of blue milk, take one down, pass it around, 55 bottles of blue milk on the wall. Ah, jeez, I gotta find some way to get out of here.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Eyre could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/the Escape Pod to sign up.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Huh?
I wonder what that could be. What's this? A package? Oh yeah, this must be the new droid I just purchased. It's finally here. Alright, let's bring this inside, open it up, and see what we got. Let's get this out of the box. There's a lot of packing peanuts in this thing. Oh boy, that thing was heavy. Alright, instruction manual. Here we go. Okay, congratulations on the purchase of your refurbished droid from Derelict Droids, blah 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 blah. Warning? Yeah, be careful to things. Nah, who cares? Can't be that important. Quick start instructions. There it goes. Okay, quick start instructions. Don't forget. Power on. Okay, alright, let's see here. Switch A next to joint C, like an IKEA furniture manual. There it goes. Power on.
Designation N0. Imprinting.
0B. Please stand by.
Imprinting.
Please stand by.
Please. Imprinting.
Please stand by.
Please stand by.
Come on, I don't got time to waste. Come on.
Scan complete.
Imprinted on bipedal hairless creature. Preparing greeting.
I am designation N00B. Are you my new master?
Yes. NOOB. I am your new master, Hellenix. Hashtag shameless self-promotion. Due to this unfortunate series of events, you are replacing a protocol droid I used to own, whose logic circuits and vocal processors could not seem to properly state my name. You shall henceforth address me only as Master.
I am not your master.
Hellenix.
I am a droid. I am incapable of owning a sentient being. It's a violation of my programming.
This is what I get for buying a refurbished droid again. No, NOOB. Master.
Understood.
Hellenix.
No, NOOB. Master.
Hellenix.
Oh, man, why does everything have to be so god-dang difficult? Well, at least my new droid has arrived and is up and running, and the timing is perfect. Now I could get back to listening to the Escape Pod cast. Take it away, boys. I have a droid instruction manual to read through. Let's see here. Blaster technology. Ooh, scope, carbide goes in additional fee. Seems like just
The Escape Pod cast.
Yes, and welcome back to the Escape Podcast. You're with clone version Scotty Mclaren. We've also got Matt Hynes and Neil Andrew Eyre with us this week because Paul Anthony has been arrested for my death, boys. I got to say, I'm quite stoked about this. I've actually been talking to Force Ghost Scotty. Actually, he just channeled me, and Force Ghost Scotty actually said to me that, he had no doubts that it was Paul Anthony that killed him. What do you guys think? Obviously, it's all about Paul. He's done the wrong thing by me.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
look, obviously,
sorry, mate. Go ahead.
Sorry, buddy. Obviously, I was always worried about that guy. There was something a bit off with him. So at the end of the day, I'm glad justice has been served. That's probably my take on it, man. So he's obviously in a cell at the moment. He'd be throwing the ball against the wall, and look, if he's done the deed, he should or done the crime, pay the time.
Yeah, well, I'm quite happy that he's in prison because I've been haunting him for the last couple of months, and it seems to be working. Neil,
Jeff Epstein didn't kill himself. Look, just because all, you know what, the officials, it just seems so neat and tidy. All of the evidence points towards Paul. I just don't want to believe it. It's like all of the evidence points towards Jeff Epstein killing himself, which makes it such an awesome meme. But people are saying that he did. So I'm still in disbelief. I think, I'm in denial. I'm in denial.
I got to say this, that, Criss Cross back in the early 90s, they dropped that song Jump. And inside the song Jump, they had that nice little lyric, believe it. And that's what I believe. So.
Wiggity, 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 whack.
Yeah, wiggity, wiggity, wiggity,
whack.
Hey, lads, let's talk about the GAC at the moment. It's 3v3, and look, it's all happening inside the GAC. A lot of people are having a bit of fun in there at the moment, finding new teams that are OP. And Hynesy, I wanted to throw this over to you first, man, because I was on your channel just the other night, and we were having some fun with the GAC. And, well, I guess you could say we found two characters in 3v3 that are just OP.
Dude, I lost my mind. Seriously, this is bizarre, right? Now, get this, and the video's out there for proof, because I tell you what, if anyone looks at these battle logs at some point, they're going to dead set think I'm cheating, right? But there's no way this happened, right? We had a Relic 4 Bosk and a Gear 12 Dengar we went up against in a 3v3 contest. We ran out of good characters to play. We got down to the bare bones, and it happens. So I threw it at Scotty and said, man, what are we going to do with this? Let's have some fun just at the end here. And we threw in a 3PO lead, Hermit Yoda, and BB-8. And BB-8 wiped the floor with a Relic 4 Bosk and a Gear 12 Dengar and won that battle and opened up ships for us, man. And dead set, I was wetting my pants for about 5 minutes afterwards. It was incredible. And then, of course, the new meta, of course, is Rose Tico versus the meta. She took out Darth Revan in that same contest. So it was absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it, and it is certainly a battle for the ages, man. But the theory crafting behind 3v3 has definitely stepped up a notch.
Oh, hasn't it just? Yeah, BB-8, I don't think too many people would have seen that. Mind you, Hynesy at that point had already gone through about, 6 battles on that Bosk, and you've lost everything. You threw everything at it, and you couldn't get through it, and then all of a sudden BB-8 comes along, and it just wipes the floor.
Should have just done that in the first place, man. Of course, you should have just gone BB-8, 3PO and Hermit Yoda, because of course you would do that. Why didn't I think of that earlier?
Hey, Hynesy, was Malik in there, or was it just Darth Revan and Bastilla with HK?
No,
when you did the Rose one.
Yeah, no, we hit Malik afterwards. Malik was still there but didn't hit, but we went hard straight after Revan, and Rose Tico had a shot. He was in the red, and Rose Tico's come out with her stun gun, shock prod, and wiped him out. It was ridiculous. I was losing my mind. It was just stupid. It really was.
You'd expect a shock prod to do something like that, wouldn't you? Just
But like, I'm talking like a Relic 4 Revan. She's like Gear 12, man. Like, it wasn't like she was OP or anything like that. It was just like AU for real. Like, it was just bizarre that anyone could contemplate doing that. But we're at that point that we were a bit delirious by then, because we were getting knocked around a bit, and thought we'd try something different, and it paid off, which was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm loving it. I absolutely love 3v3, and because I've got multiple accounts, I really do get to play around and do some theory crafting. It's a lot of fun. I still have problems with Relic Darth Revans and Malik's. I lost on the Pom-Pom-tastic account. I lost my second round because my opponent just had like 400k in GP more than me, and they put like all of their Relic characters on defense, because there was just no chance of me getting past the Revan, unfortunately. But I did have some fun on my daughter's account, because she's been poorly, so she hasn't been able to do her GAC. So I did her GAC, but I kind of used it as an opportunity to practice some theory crafting, and the one that I tried way back it still works, and that is a Thrawn lead with a Scavenger Ray and a Hermit Yoda. Now, the Hermit Yoda's only 5 stars, and these are all low gears. We're talking Gear 8, Gear 9, so they're not massive. But it is amazing how many Zated 3-man squads this goes through, because you slap it on auto, and it's just constant protection reinforcement on Scav Ray, and she just keeps whacking them over and over and over and over again. Doesn't matter who you put them in against. That it was one of the reasons why I enjoyed 3v3 so much back when it was GA, and obviously now we're in GAC. So I was so happy to see GAC adopt 3v3. I've been asking for it since they did the exhibition GAC, way back, 4 or 5 months ago. And now that it's actually officially back in GAC, I'm so happy. Don't get me wrong, it's not something that I'd like to see all the time. I like the mix, do some 5v5, some 5v5 with ships, some 3v3 with ships, and I hope they just keep rotating it month after month after month, and they make, they do some interesting things with the feats.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for in future.
Well, some of the feats have been pretty good. We'll get back to that in a moment. But, I do agree with you about the 3v3. I do enjoy it. However, having said that, I can understand why it disappeared for quite some time, and that was because Malik's just too OP in it. He's just way overpowered. I mean, it'll take you about 3 or 4 teams just to get through the mongrel if you've got him there on defense. So it's just the way it is, especially if it's relicked and highly relicked. But the feats I've found quite interesting. I've really enjoyed the feats, except for the Veteran Han, Veteran Chewbacca one. That's been a little bit of a silly one there for me, even though I've got a Gear 12 Zated Veteran Han. Thanks, Neil Andrew Air, for that. But I don't have the Chewbacca, and so therefore I can't get that feat. But I did get the Finn and Poe one. That was quite easy. And how'd you boys go with that, Neil? I'll start with you.
Well, I did it on my daughter's account because my daughter's account's got Veteran Han and Veteran Chewie, and I did it on my Merc account. But I haven't been able to do it on my. Couldn't do it on my Pom-Pom-tastic account because I'm still farming for Veteran Han at the moment, and my Veteran Chewie is like 7 stars but level 1. So I was able to do those on the back 4. Because what tends to happen is, you come up against your opponent, and at least in one of the rounds, in one of the 3 rounds, you're going to come up against some trash on that back line, and that's what tends to happen. They go strong on door number 1, strong on door number 2, but as soon as you get through door number 2, 9 times out of 10, you're seeing trash, and you can just put in one decent lead, and then you throw your trash players in because mine aren't that good, but I just threw him in with a Darth Revan. So Darth Revan lead, I know my Darth Revan's going to solo it, but because Han and Chewie are there, you get the feat.
That's good. That's good thinking. But it's not always that case when you're taking on, when you're at endgame content, is it, Tynesy? At the 5.5 million GP mark, I mean, you're seeing pretty much solid teams all the way through, aren't you?
Yeah. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, with the level I'm at, I think I'm about 5.8 now, which is just nuts. Look, you're throwing. I think we got 11 3v3 teams. I got to throw in at that level in Division 1, which is pretty brutal. Back to just the Malik thing, just quickly, Scotty. Obviously, at least now Malik is beatable. Before with the relics, obviously they have made it easier to beat him. Still not in one shot, but you can obviously beat him a lot easier than before where you couldn't. So it certainly helped, again, with the theory crafting and opening up your options to what you can and can't attack with, and you can still clear the board. Obviously the feats are good. We like them. The Chewie one was a bit of a kick in the pants. There's probably no need for that. I like the first order ones. They were really cool. Obviously the Kylo ones specifically were great. Look, the concept behind the feats and the feats obviously was something that sort of snuck up on me. I didn't expect to enjoy them as much, and obviously just to give you something extra to go after instead of just battling your character. Obviously it just gives you that extra challenge, and a challenge in this game can't be a bad thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely, couldn't agree more. Now look, seeing as we are at the end of 2019, I wanted to ask you both, what's been the thing that you've most loved about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in 2019, and what's been the thing that you've most disliked about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in 2019? Hynesy, I might start with you on this one, mate. What's yours?
Look, I've enjoyed, obviously, we've had the light side Geo come out. I do enjoy the territory battles and the teamwork in that. We obviously hit some high stars in that in the end. I think we're up to 31 or 32 stars now, I think, which was really cool. When it came out, we were expected to get 24. So, I'm really wrapped because we spent a lot of time with a lot of my guildmates, and the guys in there have done an incredible job on getting some good results this year. I'm a teamwork kind of guy. It's not a one-man show. And to have everyone banding together and working to a really, really positive, strong target is something that I tip my hat to all of them. They make me look awesome, and I've certainly enjoyed that side of things. the thing I don't like the most, and I can come to that in a second, Scotty, if we're not going to talk about it later, is the light side geo rewards. They're not amazing. I've just unlocked mine at the moment, and I can go through them unless you want to get back to that later, Scotty. I wasn't sure.
No, let's do that right now. Let's do it right.
Okay, all right, cool. So obviously a lot of people are the return to Hoth, and gentlemen, of course, and Neil, good work with the return to Hoth promotion as well, man, and you did a great job with that.
Oh, thank you very much.
But one thing, obviously, I've just unlocked it today. Now we managed to get 15 stars in this new light side geo. It's damn brutal. It is ridiculously OP with requirements. You can go in with a solid team and you can finish on 0 out of 4, or you can walk in and finish on 3 or 4 out of 4, depending on how our old friend RNG works. Of course, there's a hell of a lot of that in there as well. But I basically opened it a few days ago. Obviously, when it finished, and my rewards bucket was this 4,900 GET1. Mind you, this is at 15 stars, so halfway mark. 4850 GET2, 450 crystals, 10 Gear 12 HoloLens salvage, 8 scanner salvage, the Zerka ones, the boxes. 10 injector handles, which, some people call them fleshlights, 13 armor plating prototype, 13 Mark II wristband prototype salvage, 16 purple furnace salvage, 15 purple disc salvage, 25 purple cuff salvage, 16 purple generator salvage, 30 purple back to salvage, 11 Cairo shock prods, and 11 of the other scanners, the Cairo scanners, the computers. We'll know them as the computers. But the thing that kicked the worst, the thing that hurt the most, is the amazing relic rewards you receive. So basically, you get 7 of the heat sinks. You get 4 of the let's see here. That's the conductors.
Yep.
So that's just the ones that we can spin. Like I think 10 or 12 of the blue square signal data, Scotty. Normally, 10 or 12 on a good day. You get 5. You get 5, mate. Let's see, what's the other signal data? The incomplete, the green circles. Let's call them the green circles. You get a good spin. You get about 8 or 9 of those. No, you get 3. And of course, the hardest one to get is the flawed signal data. The blue crystal ones.
Yep.
You can normally get about 4 or 5 of them in a run, man. You get 1.
Yeah, that is brutal. That is absolutely brutal. So, you're not really getting much out of it, to be honest, when it comes to the gear and everything as well. I mean, obviously, I'm in the same guild as you, Hynesy, and I've had a look at this too. And, I can't even level anyone up with what I've just been given. But having said that, I can still go after my malevolence. So that's a good thing. But, yeah, look, that's a big kick in the guts, that, especially after the brutality of that territory battle.
Man, you're better off not actually giving any signal data out, because by giving 1, 2, 3, 5, that's just an up yours. It really is. There's just no need for it. You better not to include it at all. Then put a couple of pieces in there just for the sake of throwing it in. I think that's just a bit of a joke.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
It is. It's a bit like that. Yeah, absolutely. Neil, what's been the thing that you've most loved about the game in 2019, and what's the thing that you've most hated?
Well, I mean, the thing that I've loved the most is GAC, the Grand Arena Championships. I mean, I fell in love with Grand Arena when they first brought it in. I really, really loved it. And I loved the format because it would just be like a one-off 3 rounds, and then you'd get some rewards, and then we'd wait a little while, and then they'd do another one. And, they mixed it up with 3v3, ships, 5v5, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then they went on this big pause while they said, we're going to do something with it. And then they brought out GAC, and it was like just, wow, yeah. I fell in love with GAC after that exhibition, and kind of picked up Kyber straight away during the exhibition. Absolutely loved it. And if you do really, really well in it, you're going to love it. Anything that you can do very, very well in this game is instantly going to become your favorite. And that's, to me, that has been the highlight of the year. Yes, there's been issues with cheating, and yes, there have been issues with people using APK hacks, and the rewards haven't been amazing for the end of championship, but we have got towards the end of the year, and during the last Q&A, CG did acknowledge that the end of championship rewards have been weak, and that they're increasing the amount of currency for the championship store, which I was very, very thankful for, because the rewards prior to the increase, you got bugger all. You really, really did get bugger all. You got more at the end of round and end of phase rewards than you did at the end of the championship. So now that they've addressed that, I think it's really, really good, and I'm even more stoked now that they've finally made it available in Star Wars GG, Swugger GG, that you can see the battle logs. So as far as I'm concerned, it took a little bit of time to get there, to give us like the full package regarding GAC, and it's there. It's finally got there, and the next year with GAC is just going to be bigger and better, and yeah, definitely the highlight of my year, the best part of this game, and it's going to continue to be the best part of the game going forward until they, get off their rear ends and give us a fleet raid.
As long as they keep putting Zetas in the rewards, man, for GAC. That when they took those out and just had the Omegas as rewards, I was really disappointed with that. That was a kick in the teeth, because you spend the same amount of time playing GAC, man, than with those rewards than the Zeta ones, 3v3 and obviously 5v5. So I was very disappointed. They need to keep the Zetas in there as rewards, guys. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah. Well, I will say that when they do finally bring out the ship raid, they can bring that back as a reward once they bring the ship raid. Once they bring the ship raid into the game, because obviously then we will need to start people are going to need to start going nuts on their ships and upgrading their ships.
Is this the raid that's coming in August or something, maybe? Everything's August, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't think that they're going to bring a fleet. I don't think they'll bring a ship raid until maybe the third quarter of the year, but so I'm slowly working on my ships, but when that raid finally kicks in, we're probably going to need, maxed out ships to the nines, and so if they bring back the ship Zetas, if they bring back them ship Omegas and all those special materials for ships back into GAC as a reward once that raid is out, then no, I wouldn't be so I wouldn't get so miffed about it, because it'd be quite good.
I just want a Death Star raid, man.
That's what it's going to be. That is what it'll be.
Good.
It will be a Death Star raid. That's what we want.
Give the people
Give the customer what he wants. Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of which, there's two things that I've absolutely loved about Galaxy of Heroes in 2019, and that is, of course, the fact that Capital Games listened to what I wanted, and that was Padme. We finally got her in 2019, and she finally came to the game. I was quite stoked about that. And also the fact that General Hux came to the game as well. That was someone that Paul Anthony and I were both asking for with The Last Jedi. But unfortunately, we didn't get him until this year. And but at least he got there.
Do you like Padme, Scotty?
Oh, mate, who would have thought that I love Padme, eh? And,
you got the hots for Leia's mum, have you?
Oh, he does.
Oh, mate. I've always had the hots for Leia's mum, man. I go for MILFs in this game, especially the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, wow.
But the other thing as well is the community as well. I disappeared for a little while there, and without the community that rallied together to bring me back, I don't think that I'd be still playing this game.
I don't think you're alone. Yeah, I don't think you're alone, man.
Yeah.
Look, I've been saying for a while, and it's a horrible thing, but I've been saying for a while that this community, in many, many instances, is far, far more important than the game itself. The community and the people out there are absolutely outstanding, and without them, the game would have been dead some time ago.
Yeah, absolutely. But I wanted to do a comparison as we close 2019 and, talking about the marquee characters that we've seen. And this year, we saw a total of 19 marquee characters make their way into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes into your roster. Compare that to 2018, 36 from last year. How about that, boys? More last year than what there was this year. So there's certainly been a decline. And, I guess a lot of people have been talking about a lack of content. So I thought what we might do is I might just do a quick summary of what's happened in 2019 in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And this is, I suppose, you could say this is where, I wouldn't say salt's going to be thrown, but this is exactly what's going on.
Scotty,
so
salt mine.
No, it's not. 2019, I reckon it was a bit problematic for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in a few ways. Now, first of all, we actually saw the community outrage over the change to territory wars. Who remembers that at the beginning of the year? The characters from people's rosters being omitted for the battles, which meant that you were left, the player was left without the characters that you had grinded to farm or paid for. And rightly, Capital Games, they did reverse this, but it did take some time for that to happen. Now, they also tried to do something a little bit different with the marquee events. They released some Galactic Chase events for a limited time so that you could farm the Emperor's Shuttle, Ebon Hawk, and the Hyena Bombers shards immediately. The drop rates for these events were pretty good. However, once the event had been and gone, it wouldn't come back. So, boys, what did you think about that, the Galactic Chase? Do you think that it should have been one of those things that kept coming back, or do you think that it was a good idea for them just to say, okay, well, that's over, now you can start farming these characters in these and all these ships in these different nodes? I would have liked to have seen the Galactic Chase continue to come back every 2 or 3 months, so it gives us something fresh to look forward to, boys.
Free-to-play opinion, Galactic Chase sucked. Because when you're free to play, you're constantly farming. So having to switch fire in order to guarantee getting either the character or the ship was, it was a major spanner in the works. I would have just preferred to have got it marquee and then sat on my 3-star character or sat on my 3-star ship and then waited until it, hit a hard node or it hit the cantina, and then I can choose whether I want to continue going for it. Some of these galactic, I didn't get any of the Galactic Chases at the beginning of the year because I was busy following a pillar system. And if I didn't follow that pillar system, it would have completely and utterly screwed me up for Grand Arena that was running at the time, and it would have screwed me up for Territory Wars, and it would have screwed me up for Territory Battles. So I ignored the Galactic Chases, didn't go for those characters, stuck with my pillar farming, and as a result, I didn't get those new free characters.
Yeah. Okay. Well, some would suggest that, like you say, Neil, that the Galactic Chasers were a bit of a cash grab, but the developers would give the players a chance to farm Geonosian Brood Alpha immediately, and it would never go away. And the same thing can be said about the brand new what is he, the clone trooper, the ARC trooper that you can get as well. Now, then we saw a rework earlier in the year to General Grievous. One YouTuber out there, he'd been calling for that all throughout his career covering the game. The rework would come. It didn't meet his expectations, but Capital Games would then come back and give Grievous a second rework, which made him a little bit happy, and also his followers. Now Grievous is just OP. Darth Revan came throughout the year as well, and after messing up the timing of his release, it actually gave the player base more time to prepare. Thus, Capital Games didn't make the money intended on his release, so they dropped Darth Malak 2 weeks later to over-the-top demands to even get the character. The problem was that he was the first epic confrontation to come out in the game as well, which meant after wailing hard, you only got a 5-star character, even if you could unlock him in the end anyway. Now, you would also need to level him up with the guild event currency, which a lot of people are still saying that that's a big negative in the game for a 7-star character, especially with Gas. You've unlocked him after investing so much within the game, and he's just sitting on the bench, Hynesy.
Yeah, that's BS, mate. I look with the unlocks for Malak and obviously another one that probably hurts a lot more. Obviously, the General Skywalker event. Both of those, the way that you require the GET tokens to obviously improve them and get those shards, I think it's disgusting. I've always said I'm really frustrated with that. One of my characters, not Malak, I've got Gas at the moment. I'm still about 50-odd shards or so from him. There are people out there that are going to unlock it in a few days' time. They've been saving up all their goodies. He's going to be 7-star immediately. So I know there's a lot of people really angry about that. I don't blame them at all, to be honest. If you've been hoarding stuff, and we don't want to hoard stuff. It's a collecting game. It's not a hoarding game. So to have a character come out so quickly, and then obviously need all the GET on a 5-star unlock. I was very disappointed with that, and I hope that if they had their time over, they wouldn't do it, but I have a feeling that they would again.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to say so. Now, look, as another slap in the face to characters and to players as well throughout 2019. I mean, this was one of the driving forces behind me leaving, and that was the Kyra techs and also the relics. Now, not long after it was revealed that we were going to go to Gear 13, it was revealed that the relics were also introduced into the game. Then the Jawar engineer came, and he would take all of your gear, including the good stuff, so that you could farm essentially what Gear 13 Plus is basically all about. Now, this is what stopped a lot of players from playing the game, and a lot of people actually walked away from the game because of that, which is a real shame in 2019. And to all those fallen soldiers, I salute you. Now, another thing that came out this year was, of course, a lot of people say it's a reskinned territory battle. I enjoy the territory battles more than what I ever did at the moment, and I guess I can thank Paul Anthony for that. But these territory battles are a little bit over the top. But with that, we've actually seen the new capital ships and the Negotiator and the Malevolence, which has been good. Now, one more thing I wanted to capitalize on here, and that was, look, the game has been full of bugs for quite some time. But, one of the big things I did dislike in 2019, and that was the fact that lead producer Carrie Guskus left Capital Games. It hasn't been the same since, I don't think. And, in terms of everyone talking to each other and getting the information like we did when Carrie left, I think that's, look, that they still do the Q&As and the like, but I just don't feel like it feels the same. Neil, what do you think?
Yeah, no, there was a respect for Carrie that I don't think anybody else really got. Did we agree with everything that she said and everything that we did? Absolutely not. I mean, I disagreed with a lot of the things she did and a lot of the things she said, but at least she communicated. You might not have liked what she said when she said it, but you've got to agree and respect that she at least was more forthcoming with answers and with responses. You might not like what a person says, but hearing something you don't like is better than not hearing anything at all. So, I think there was a lot of respect for her, that she would engage on Twitter and that she would engage on Reddit and that she would engage on the forums. And I think that's what made her such a good senior producer of the game. And when she left, I was gutted. And when a replacement came in, I was even more gutted.
I agree with you on that. Now, look, it has been very slow in terms of releasing of new characters compared to last year where we had a Sith raid. This year, we haven't had any raids. It's just been towards the end of the year, we've seen 2 territory battles come into the game, and that's pretty much it. Since April, in fact, boys, how about this? They've been talking about the Malevolence and Ki-Adi Mundi, and now we've only just started to see them. So how about that, eh? If I was to give the guys a score for 2019, I'd probably say a D-. What would you give?
That would be my call. Yeah, D- would be about right. Too many bugs, a lot of issues that should be issues. The new unlocks the 5-star unlock sucks. And again, I hate pouring fire on this. I love this game and I enjoy the people and everything involved in it. I hate pot-shotting this game over stupid things like this that just shouldn't happen. We as a community deserve better. I've said that earlier on. It's one of those things that's incredibly frustrating now. And back to the Carrie point a second ago, I had a huge amount of respect for Carrie. Same thing, never agreed, disagreed, whatever. At least that there was the standard of what would you call it? Respect that was there for across the board, and they're certainly lacking that at the moment. I mean, the new developer's out. He did a Q&A. Oh no, they did a Q&A on him. He didn't even come out and say hi. So I was a bit disappointed with that. We still don't even know who he is. And again, I think as a player base, we deserve better. I think the communication used to be a heck of a lot better. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, for mine, this is my point of view on the whole thing. This is what my final... Well, I'll go to Neil first. Neil, I'm going to go to you, and then I'm going to give the final word before we get out of here for the moment and take a break. But, Neil, what's your take on 2019? What score would you give Capital Games?
I was wanting... I really, really, really wanted to give them a C. I wanted to give them a C. But with the introduction of the hyperdrive bundle, it's the thing that's made me hate the game the most this year. The hyperdrive bundle has decimated the early game free to play community, and I say that because I get lots of people that are veterans of the game that have alt accounts, and they've got in touch with me, and a lot of them have just binned their alt accounts. A lot of people that started alt accounts in the past 3 months, they're just gone. They've disappeared. They've just dropped off the face of the planet. You know, they were happily plodding along, grinding. You know, maybe they were in the top 100, some people even in the top 50 of their shards. And then all of a sudden the hyperdrive bundle comes out and they find themselves in the 200s, the 300s. Some people are getting pushed back as far as the 400s in the shard that they're at. And yeah, I refer to it as a predatory method for making money in the game, and I'm not changing my mind regarding that. So it's not a C, it's not even a D, it's an E. It was a C up to and including the point where they introduced the hyperdrive bundle, and just like the free-to-play community dropped off a cliff, my grade for the game dropped off a cliff too.
All right, well, I've got him at a D-. Hynesy, you're at a D- as well, yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, there's another word with the C letter in it that I want to use, but we can't do that at the moment. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, extremely disappointing. And we want changes. It's simple as that. We want the game to be, obviously a lot less bugs. We need it more bug free than it is at the moment.
Yeah,
we need some love, man. We're a community out here, and we love this game. We always have. We've been playing this for years. We've invested time, effort, money, resources into this, and we want to enjoy it. And we do enjoy the game itself, but everything around it sucks.
Well, this is my final take on it. Agree or disagree? I'd like to see your comments in the channel, guys. The Studio CG, you've got to remember that for the player base, this was a collector's game. It's not a hoarding your resources game. We want characters and more to do, especially at the end game level. And also, I guess you could say from a beginning game level as well. A sandbox mode. Possibly change Galactic War to this, where we can fight our own guild with our rosters in Theorycraft. The Death Star raid, or even a Star Killer base raid, I don't care. Whatever it is, give us one of those. A battle like the General Skywalker event, which uses fleets and characters, but is a story mode, and not needing ridiculous GP to enter, and not only unlocking the character or whatever you get at 5 stars. More use for our roster in the arena and fleet. An actual use for ships. Perhaps this is where the vehicles could be used as well. An increase in the light and dark side battles to 400 nodes. Cantina and fleet battles to 200 nodes, which gives us something new to focus on getting 3 stars on, as they are pretty much, as you can know, the main things that you see when you open the game. It also increases the nodes to farm as well. I'd like to see us get some more new daily challenges and new mini events as well. Because let's face it, the Mace Windu event at the moment is so outdated that I'm kind of over having 3,000 bits of gear that you can't even give to the Jawa engineer. Giving us another thing, but please don't make the tenacity so high that you need to pour in ridiculous resources just to beat it. The game should be fun and testing certain things and rewarding you for leveling up your roster, not hoarding. Yes, bring in the vehicles, but give us something to do with them. Perhaps combine them with ships and also a raid. A lot more work needs to be done, Capital Games, and hear me out on this. Please, you need to bring the player base back after a year of cash grabs. You've made your money now. Let's get back to helping the community. Please, Capital Games, you're our only hope. We'll catch up with Hynesy in just a moment.
The Escape Pod Cast with Neil Andrew Eyre, Matty Hynes, and Scotty Mclaren.
Hey there, Escape Podawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net!
The Escape Pod Cast now offers our faithful listeners a way to show their support via merchandise. Declare your allegiance to Team Paul or Team Neil with official shirts. Get a story time with the llama button or magnet. Or just represent the show by getting an official logo hoodie. There are now even Team Scotty and Team Hynesy options available too. Become an official Padawan today. Check out the merch at escapepodcastaways.com.
Back to school. The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Hello and welcome back, Escape Padawans, to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. One of the biggest aspects of this game is farming. Whether it's gear or character shards, the grind is real. This week, I'll take you through the different areas of the game you can use your energy so you can get those important character shards and coveted gear you'll need to progress in the game. Plus, give you some helpful practice and tips for making the most out of your energy. Each player has 4 types of energy that they can spend. Your regular gold energy, that's used for light side and dark side battles. The red Cantina energy, used for the Cantina battles. The teal mod energy, used for both the mod challenges and the mod battles. And last but not least, the blue fleet energy, used for fleet battles. All 4 types of energy naturally accumulate as the day goes on. Plus, you get bonus energy payouts 3 times throughout the day. The first payout includes regular, Cantina, and mod energy. The second is regular and fleet, and the final payout of the day is only regular energy. Be sure to pay attention to when your bonus payouts are so you can jump into the game and collect the free energy. If your current time doesn't exactly work with your schedule, you can change your payout times twice a year in the settings menu. You can also purchase more of any type of energy by doing what's called an energy refresh. Your first 3 refreshes are 50 crystals each. Then, they double to 100 crystals and so on. The only exception is the Cantina energy, which starts with costing 100 crystals and goes up from there. It's a best practice to be actively farming a character or ship in each of the different areas you can use your energy. Cantina, 1 in each the light side and the dark side battles, and 1 in ships. This ensures you're making the most progress with your energy. Also, spending your regular and Cantina energy is what accumulates your raid ticket generation for your guild. So be sure to pay attention to how many you're required to generate per day and use your energy accordingly. It can be pretty difficult sometimes to balance the energy needed to farm character shards versus the energy needed to farm the gear. So personally, I like to do my shard farming with the first bonus energy payout and what generates throughout the day. Then, at the end of the day, I use my crystal refreshes and last bonus payout to farm my gear. But it's important to try different strategies and find what works for you. Before I sign off, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a Happy New Year and thank you so much for supporting the show and Storytime. You know, when I took over for Neil, I was extremely nervous and knew I had huge shoes to fill. But the constant support from our Padawan community has been amazing, and I truly love you all for it. Have an excellent 2020, and tune in next week for more Storytime with the Llama on the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. You know, it's been a full week, and I just can't get Paul's voice out of my head. I want to believe he's innocent, but I've gone over the evidence again and again, and everything points to Paul. It's all super straightforward and easy. Easy. Maybe it's too easy? Hold on, let me look at this. That's it. I knew it was too perfect. I need to run and fix this while I still can. I just hope that ship hasn't left yet.
The Escape Pod Cast with Neil Andrew Eyre, Matty Hynes, and Scotty Mclaren.
Matthias Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Macias will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Macias has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans and more. Contact Macias today on Discord at all lowercase Macias number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127 or at maciasmods@gmail.com. Macias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message, and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Air could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/the Escape Pod to sign up.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm using my one phone call here on Batuu to introduce our incoming transmission for this week. He is a former guest on this show. He's a wonderful, wonderful content creator from Australia. You've heard him in the first 2 segments, and we're just going to continue on with that. Ladies and gentlemen, the legend maker himself, Hynesy. Hynesy, how you doing, buddy? They're telling me I got to get off the phone here in a second, but I just wanted to welcome you to the show and thank you for stepping in to help while I've been rotting here in this prison cell on Batuu.
The pleasure has always been mine, Paul. Thank you so much for having me. I'm indebted to all of you for everything you've done up until now, and it is an absolute honor, my friend.
Not a problem. Okay, the Neil, the officer's telling me I gotta go. Can you take over this incoming transmission for me?
Not a problem, mate. Not a problem. I'll bring you some smokes when I come visit you, mate.
Okay, you do that. Maybe I can use them as currency here.
No worries.
All right, I gotta go. Bye.
Cheers, man.
So, Hynesy, it's you and me, mate. Scotty had to step out for a little while. There are some bits and pieces kind of falling off him. Obviously, his clone wasn't fully grown, so he needs to spend a little bit of time in the back to tank. So it's just you and me for this incoming transmission, mate. I hope you're all right with that.
Always happy to hang around with the pom, mate. No problem.
Let the sledging begin.
Bring it, boy. Bring it. Let's go.
Anyway, let's get into your show. You run your own YouTube channel. It's doing really, really well at the moment, and your main show is Harpoon and Beers. Let the listeners know what this type of show is, what kind of content you put out. Give everybody a general feel for what it's like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, basically, we started around 10 weeks ago, actually probably closer to 12 weeks ago now, and the whole concept was along the lines of I've been playing this game for a heck of a long time, probably since the start, I think almost 3 years or so, and over that time, you learn a lot of knowledge that basically takes a lot of time to learn and master, and I thought I've got to do a lot of my GAC battles anyway, and I thought, well, why don't we join that in and have some fun with it and create basically a segment or a video of me doing my battles, and hopefully people can sort of learn new theory crafting ideas and also how to use the characters you have in attack. And it's just snowballed to the point where I'm just absolutely stunned and quite humble with what we've been able to do in such a short time.
Yeah, I must admit I have caught several of your shows, and you do seem to have a lot of fun, especially when you're doing your live streams.
Oh, we have so much fun, man. It's just nuts. We obviously will harpoons and beer. It's not harpoons and water. So we obviously sit around, we theory craft some ideas, we check out our opponents, we do a bit of basically a bit of a research into what we're up against. We obviously then show what we've got on either side of the fence, and quite often we have some awesome guests as well that join us from time to time, including, of course, Golden Tonsil Scotty Mclaren drops in, and it's always ridiculous when he drops in. We just want to have some fun with it. You know, it's a game. Let's have some fun. Let's do something that's a bit different. And everyone, a lot of people are really grasping onto it, and we're all having so much fun doing it. It's certainly not a chore. It is an absolute pleasure to do.
Yeah, I must admit, even though I'm more early game content, I can still appreciate a lot of the videos, the late game content, the end game content that you put together. You've done some sterling videos regarding the Geonosian territory battles. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the theory crafting that you've been done to assist people there?
Yeah, so obviously for those that aren't aware, I'm in quite a high-end guild. I lead one of the guilds in the ANZGC community, and basically, again, there's a lot of knowledge we have in that as well that we want to share with people. So I thought, look, again, I've got to do my territory battles like everyone. I thought, well, let's just do them live and just show people what I'm doing, and maybe if they pick something up, it might help their own guilds as well. Obviously, just improve and just to get those extra rewards that we're all craving for, my friend. You know.
Yeah, how are you finding the rewards? Because your guild is quite OP, so you get a lot more stars than most people get. So what are your thoughts on the higher end star count regarding the rewards for GOTB?
Yeah, the dark side is pretty good. I think that's reasonable for the work that you put in. Again, I want to give a quick shout out to my guys, the ANZGC Mandalorians. They make me look good. All the officers are incredible there, and it's a great little team dynamic we've got. But look, basically the dark side ones I think are fair. I think that they're certainly challenging, specifically in the last phase, but it's certainly achievable. I think that every person listening to this will agree that at this stage of the game, the light side variation is just ridiculous in what's required, both for the minimum requirements and even just the GP and the actual level for the star counts. And the rewards just don't line up with the amount of time you need to coordinate these battles. You know, it's quite tough out there on the light side, no doubt. So
you're finding the workload to a reward ratio pretty poor regarding the light side, then, are you?
In light side, I believe so. I think that, and again, while we're recording this, obviously, I've just unlocked the light side rewards, and I just, I've only had half an hour or so to digest it at this point, but I'm just really disappointed because I think the effort that people are putting in with theory crafting and the resources that people are putting in just to even be eligible to play these events and these combat missions it just beggars beyond belief. It really does. I think that there's still something not right with the difficulty, and as we know, CG have come out and they've said no, we're not changing the difficulty. I think that something needs to be done, and I understand it's end game content, but you can always tweak it up later on when people are obviously, getting to the point where they're finding it a bit easy. You can always make those adjustments, but at this stage, it's quite disheartening to go in that and just basically get really high-end teams just kicked around and get 0 out of 4 waves in some cases. It just leaves a really, really bad taste in your mouth.
So did your not guild follow the JTR team guide that found its way onto YouTube last week?
We did. We have tested it and we worked a few out in it, and it's certainly more successful. And again, you still need obviously some serious relics anyway. Look, it's a relic battle. It really is. It's a relic-based territory battle. Higher relics, better results. It's as simple as that. But quite often, if you get the wrong lineup, and I found that myself even in ships, if you come up against Houndstooth, it's the brick wall of all brick walls in ships, and you just can't clear it basically without negotiator at this point, a negotiator fleet, which again, a lot of people in the play base just don't even have that fleet still available to them, which will make it so much more difficult to get good results, and again, it will really, can really bring down your performance quite quickly. So, yeah, look, there are teams out there, and theory crafting will certainly come up, and it will get easier. We find that with every territory battle when the first one or second one's launched. Obviously, we had the false start. So, at the end of the day, it will certainly take a little bit of time to theory craft, but we're focusing very strongly on that because we obviously want to perform at the highest end and try and pass on the information we can,
Yeah, but it wouldn't hurt for them to make it just that scotch bit easier, would it?
I agree. Look, I think that you want to try and scale it so that if you have relic characters, you're at least able to finish the first one or two waves. Everything after that needs to be high end to get over the line, so to speak, because then you're investing in it and it's actually giving you the results. I think at the moment it's still flawed. They've tuned it very hard. The max GP requirement for a guild is just off the charts, and either they've released it early or they've got something else in mind that we don't know about. I'm not quite sure, but at the moment, as things stand, there's a lot of very, very frustrated people out there, and I know I speak for a lot of people that have told me that directly, that it's a frustrating situation to be in.
Well, I mean, let's keep our fingers crossed that the Return to Hoth, not boycott, but the Return to Hoth movement that we started here on the Escape Pod cast picks up and gets noticed a little bit, because I'd like to think that the 16,000 people that participated, because a lot of guilds did participate and they did return to Hoth, and each guild, I think it was something like 800 odd guilds, scored really, really, really high. So there were a lot of guilds out there that returned to Hoth, 16,000 player base. Hopefully, fingers crossed, those are the types of metrics that CG will notice, and maybe they will do what they said at the last Q&A, and they'll take some action. But we can only hope.
Absolutely. As they say in the classics, there's more of us. So, yeah, obviously, we got to use our feet. We've got to voice our concerns. We love this game. Every person that's listening to this right now loves this game. There's not one person that doesn't have a passion for it. They love Star Wars and they love this game. And there are some good people out there. We've lost a lot of amazing people very recently when Relics and everything came out. And I think that we just need to... You got to give your player base a solid, or there just ain't going to be a player base left. And I certainly don't want that. I love this game, and the friendships that I've made up until now, will last forever, to be completely honest. And it's just a really sad situation that things are in, and it needs to be improved, and it needs to be done damn quickly.
Yeah, that they really, really did not do themselves any favors this year with the people that decided to walk from the game after the whole Malik stuff, and then there was the Gear 13, and then there was the Relics. So there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people walking away from the game, and then obviously General Skywalker came out, and then more people walked away, and you're just thinking to yourself, "Come on, CG, you've done several things this year. People have walked away. You need to do something to bring them back." And then it was almost like a double whammy. GOTB Lightside came out. Everybody's thinking, yes, this is it. It's coming back. This is going to bring people back to the game. And then we all did it for the first time, and it was just wow. So, yeah.
But the dark side territory battle, the light side territory battle was never going to bring people back. I never believed that. I think that obviously that was, it was a common sense approach to obviously if you got a dark side, it makes sense to have a light side so you can alternate them all for sure. The difficulty level's off the chart. But two main things this year have really, really peeved off the player base. Let's put it that way. Obviously, Relics, we had a huge amount of really core passionate people leave when Relics came out because they just felt, you know what, I can't compete anymore and it's a waste of my time. And obviously when Skywalker came out on a 5-star unlock, we all know what uproar there was with that. And we don't want to cause this drama, but it's there. And it's just one of those things, again, that shouldn't be there. It's not It's not rocket science. Give the people what they want. But yeah, the territory battle itself, I never believed that was something that was going to bring people in. We need another raid. We need another Death Star raid. We keep hearing about this one coming next year. And really, it should have been done already, to be honest. I think, again, we need some more content to play, not reskin things that we've already got with ridiculous difficulty levels for down the track, man. That's just my opinion anyway, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I must admit, I think that CG really, really did miss a trick with the light side GOTB. I think if they'd made it easier and if they'd made the rewards, well, let's for argument's sake, let's say double what they are awarding. If they'd made it a little bit easier and they'd made the rewards double, it could have brought back some of the whales that left. Now, it's not for something that's, mid-game or early game free to play, but it's definitely something that I think they could have used as a vehicle to bring back whales that had said, you know what, I'm done, I'm quitting, I'm leaving, I'm not coming back, or some of those people said they were going free to play. I genuinely think that CG missed that trick. They could have brought back some whales and some krakens if they made it worth their while. It's like, hey, we're going to introduce to you a territory battle that you're not going to have to put any resources into. You're not going to have to do any spending, and when you're done at the end of it, we're going to give you some cracking rewards for all of the money that you've spent and for being loyal to the game. I think that they missed the trick, and they could have made that a really, really good loyalty factor for the whales and the krakens, and they didn't do that. So
loyalty is key. It really is. And again, as I've said before, the loyalty in the player base has kept this game alive, for a long time, and a lot of people enjoy the community more than the game. It's not uncommon. And again, I think that they certainly need to give something back to the people. As I said, we need another raid. We need something to get some excitement back into it. A reskin territory battle was never going to do that, in my opinion. And I think that really, again, we just need some really cool content that's different that we can sink our teeth into, and people are going to go that have played it before. Hey, check this out. This is nuts. This is really crazy, and you're missing out. And those core people that never wanted to leave in the first place will certainly come back. But we need to give them a really good reason to do so.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I just want to touch back on the GAC that obviously you've been doing on your channel, because you've come up with some rather interesting squad makeups during this 3v3. I mean, you briefly touched on them when we were talking earlier on. I was just wondering if you could go into them a little more in depth. How did you fall into these 3v3 squads? I've heard about the BB-8 one and the Rose Tico one. So exactly what happened? How did you come across these squads?
Well, Rose Tico is an ongoing talking point, to be honest. Rose Tico is I threw it out to the player base and the membership out there to get the subscriptions up to build this channel, which they have been amazing. Every single person that's hit that red button, I love you all, and you know that. And basically it got to the point where once we hit the 500 subs, I threw it out there and said, you know what, I'm going to gear 13 my Rose Tico if we hit 500, and we hit that really quickly. So basically at the moment, as we speak, I'll be doing a video over the next few days that will be released. At the moment, Rose Tico has 6 green crosses sitting on it. She is currently gear 12. I will be doing the video sending her to gear 13 for everyone to see, so there's proof. I will be also doing it dressed up in a Rose Tico costume as well. So it's gonna be pretty crazy. It's really, really mental. I'm super looking forward to it, and it's the least I can do for an amazing bunch of loyal people that tune in and check out what we do. But the BB-8 one, to be honest, the BB-8 who took out a Relic 4 Bosk and a Dengar, we threw BB-8 Yoda and who else? 3PO in. So one attacker out of the 3, and he basically single-handedly wiped out a Relic 4 Bosk and a Gear 12 Dengar. And again, none of us really expected that to happen. That was the beer talking, to be honest, man. We just had a look and checked out whatever we had left in our roster, and we thought, you know what, we've got nothing to lose. Unfortunately, we'd already lost that current battle in that run, and we thought we'd throw it in there for a bit of fun. And oh, mate, the rest is history. It was pretty crazy stuff.
Yes. I imagine it was. So another thing that you run in your channel is this fight night thing. So what's the deal with that then, mate?
Oh, Fight Night's awesome. Again, we're pretty lucky that we've had a few people reach out to us that I know directly through Discord, either in our community or just in the greater community, and they basically have matched up against one of my friends. And what we did was we thought, well, let's make this an open battle. So what we did was we basically ran both accounts live side by side. We had our man Scotty Mclaren in one occasion on one side who set all the teams on this other person's account, or he set them on his behalf. And then we also had another friend of ours at the time as well, Serbs. He threw another one on the other side, and basically they called counters live that I attacked on their behalf live, and it was out of control. So we've had really fun theory crafting with that as well. We've had a toe-to-toe action. It's been crazy. I dressed up as a referee. I had the referee outfit on. I put the bow tie on. It was at ANZGC Stadium at the time. It was going off. The crowd was going wild. All the battles were basically done on auto, except that there were two occasions where the players on either side could basically pick me to do a manual run for them, which we called a power play. We had a wonderful sound going up at the time when that was happening. It was crazy. We had sirens and all sorts of things going off. It's really, really crazy. We've had two of them up until now. There's been 2 fight nights. And again, in future, if anyone obviously matches up against anyone and they know and have a chat or they know each other, hit me up and we could do some more fight nights, because they have been something that we put together on the fly, and they have been absolutely hilarious, and we love doing them. It's really, really great.
Oh, that is definitely taking advantage of a good situation there for sure. I mean, I would love to. I'd love to be involved in something like that. I will definitely be keeping my eyes peeled on my accounts to see if I get matched with somebody that I know.
We'll get you on one side on Fight Night one time, Neil, and
I would,
man, absolutely.
Absolutely, I'm always for a bit of friendly competition. I mean, it doesn't hurt winning either. I mean, you'd know all about that being an Aussie. I mean, you've lost to us 3 times this. I mean, what was it? You lost to us.
Oh, sorry.
Lost to us in the Cricket World Cup, and you lost to us in the Rugby World Cup. So, yeah.
I was just at the back. Sorry, I didn't hear you. I was just too busy polishing up the ashes on the mantelpiece. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, man. Sorry about that. What did you say?
Yeah. Does that draw taste nice, does it? Because the Cricket World Cup win and beating you in the Rugby World Cup just tastes so much sweeter.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, I'd rather take the Ashes home on a draw than not. Let's be honest, man. It was a good win for us. The good thing about it is that the camaraderie is there. We give each other a fair bit of stick. I mean, you guys can't help it. You drink warm beer. I mean, it's not our fault. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things where the banter is real and it's all in good jest, which is great. But no, there's always total respect when we go toe-to-toe, man. The convicts versus the gentry. It's always good fun.
Yes, and you convicts do kind of need to know your place, so it's nice to beat you every now and then.
Spoken like a true pom who has no idea. But no, it is great fun. I do enjoy it for sure.
So, we've got the fight night. You do the GAC. You do the videos. What else you got planned out there? Obviously, you do interviews with other content creators. How does that kind of fall in place?
Yeah, we do the behind the screen.
Yeah, it must be difficult with you on such a different time zone to most other content creators.
No, it's not too bad, actually. We obviously working around it. Sleep's overrated down under when you're playing this game. Territory War starts up at 4 a.m. local time down here for us. Sleep's overrated in a lot of cases, man. But look, we do work out time frames and windows where we can obviously catch up and make it work. It doesn't help, but it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. We obviously can try and record whatever's possible when the times permit, and obviously we launch it later on. So, yeah, but the behind the screen's great. We've got a few more behind the screens coming, which is awesome. We have one with Scotty and Paul coming up soon, and I think we're going to do one with you as well, Nev. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a heck of a lot of fun.
Yes, get ready for some sledging.
We'll get a little bit more. Yeah, there'll be a heck of a lot more sledging. So look, we've definitely got some really cool content coming in there. I even just posted a video today of one of my guildmates who actually finished the recommission in the Dark Side one as well, and he actually managed to video it for us, which is great. So I've got a video out there at the moment on our channel where the rig's been beaten and what he used to do it. And let me tell you, there's some relic action in there. That's for sure.
Yes. I have. I got the notification for that, and even though I'm nowhere near on any of my accounts being able to get close to that, I'll definitely have that as a frame of reference. So it's like when I finally get there, it'd be like, oh, at least there is some content out there that I can refer to, because that's what people want. People like to see. Videos of whether it's a combination in territory wars, or whether it's this is the squad you need, and this is how you need to mod to do this particular wave in the territory battle. Absolutely. We need those things in the game, and we need them on YouTube, not for people, not necessarily just for people to do them right now, but in preparation. Because I myself am nowhere near that, but it's good to know I've got something to refer to. So will you be doing more and pieces like that as you progress further and further into the light side GOTB?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the whole concept of the channel generally is for information. There's a lot of information flowing around there, but I've always wanted to try and just bring something different to the table. There are guys out there that do some outstanding work, and even instrumentally early on, McMull was amazing. He helped us a lot. Of course, Scotty and Paul, of course, have helped us a heap as well to get up and running. Because we're part of the Castaways network, of course, and we're super proud for that. But yeah, look, guys like DB who do an amazing work. You've got It's Just Ian who does some great stuff. Biscuit Weasel, the man, he's out there. He's brilliant. I love some of his work. And of course, you've got guys like Arnold and Mobile Gamer. Just there is some really great information out there, but there's a lot of the same type of information out there, and I want to just do something different. I want to make a point of difference to this channel, but I want to give people what they want at the same time, and it's certainly a massive passion for us, and we'll be striving to think outside the box and do things that are a bit different over time.
Yeah, well, just before we head over to the bridge, I would very, very much like to get your opinion on The Mandalorian and Episode 9 while you're here, if you don't mind.
I love Mando. Oh, so good. It is unreal. I love Mando. I've been watching, of course, Talking Mando. It's been great. Good work with that gentleman, by the way. It is unreal. And, of course, our friend Thaddeus, he is the Godfather. The Godfather, he does some beautiful work. And, look, I love Mando. Who doesn't love Baby Yoda? Let's be honest. He's just taken over. He's taken the world by storm. There are memes everywhere for this guy. He's just been absolutely brilliant. If you don't like him, there's something wrong with you. Mando, I love the old school feel. I love... what would you call it? They call it a Western, but it's got that Rogue One-ish type grittiness about it. And I think a lot of, obviously I grew up on the old trilogy. A lot of the original old school Star Wars lovers, just really cling on to that and soak it in, because it just feels really old school. And I'm an old school kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. And what are your thoughts on, have you watched Episode 9 yet?
No, not this minute. I'm about to hit it pretty soon, man. So I haven't checked Episode 9 out. I am at Episode 8, so I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone. But yeah, I haven't gotten to Episode 9 yet. But,
me neither, mate.
I'll be sitting down with my man Mon Calamari, my little 9-year-old legend, and of course the oldest one, Princess Layla. We'll be checking that out pretty soon. And man, I'm just loving everything I see. Look, just give Jon Favreau the keys to Lucasfilm, please.
Yes. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau need to be given the keys to the Lucasfilm kingdom. I am not going to argue with you there, mate.
They are just doing what we want. They're doing old school. They love it. They have the passion for it. And I'm not saying anyone else in Lucasfilm doesn't at the moment, but they get what we want. And really, if you give the people what they want, they're going to keep coming back for more,
Yeah. So why don't you let everybody know where they can catch Harpoons and Beer?
Yeah, of course. So I expect probably the link will be in the description for our YouTube channel. If you just do a search for Hynesy, Hynesy. And again, I'm part of ANZGC. That's in the link as well. But guys, just look for one of the videos out there, and obviously the channel link is there. Please join us. We have so much fun, and we're going to bring out heaps more info. We have a lot of resources behind us to bring you some really, really cool content that's ahead of the curve, and obviously new release stuff. So we want to obviously show you guys that, and really we just want to have some fun. As I said earlier on, man, it's a game, and quite often we take it way too seriously. So you know what? Let's just kick back, have a few quiet ales in the evening when the kids are in bed sometimes, and just have some absolute fun with it, my friend.
Well, that's absolutely a sentiment I can get on board with. Thank you so much for coming on to our incoming transmission, Hynesy. Everybody, stick around, come back, and we will be moving off to the bridge here on the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast with Neil Andrew Eyre, Matty Hynes, and Scotty Mclaren.
Hey everyone, this is Biscuit Weasel here, coming live to you from the Escape Pod Cast Content Creators Network. I'm sure some of you have seen my latest videos about General Kenobi countering the Millennium Falcon and Rebel fleets, as well as my top 10 Zeta videos for newer players. But I want to help you guys personally. If you head on over to patreon.com/biscuitweasel, that's Weasel with a Z, to check out my new Patreon rewards. And while they last, the first 10 people to sign up at the $10 level will get the whole $30 package for their first month for free. That's patreon.com/biscuitweasel. Remember, that's with a Z, today.
Hey there, Escape Padawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Eyre could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/the Escape Pod to sign up.
The Escape Pod cast. The bridge.
Neil, my friend, there's been reports here on Batuu. I think it's time we leave this rock and travel out a little farther.
Yeah, it has gotten a little rowdy out here, but honestly, that's just the holidays, mate.
Farther? How far out are we going to go, Hynesy? You recommended and bought the vacation suite here at Blackspire Outpost for everyone involved in the show, especially on Batuu.
There are a lot of bad memories are located in the core system. I think it's time we just leave them behind and start anew.
Anew? You may have resurrected Scotty Hynesy, but this was Paul's show too. We can't just reboot the entire show because you want to. Plus, you already host Harpoons and Beer.
Neil, you have your own channel. I've got my channel. Scotty comes in my shows because it's easy for him and his schedule. Without Paul, though, we just need to restart. We have the entire Escape Pod Castaways network. The cast itself's going to be fine, man.
Wait a second, man. You brought me back to help co-host the Escape Pod, quote unquote, if something should ever happen to Paul. What is this talk about starting the new, man?
Something did happen to Paul, man. He's currently locked up in Batuu. He's rotting in a prison cell, awaiting transfer to Coruscant. Charged with your murder, Scotty. Don't you remember? Or is it 3 months in space doing a number of your brain? He's getting tired of your antics and your negativity. He wasn't jiving with his content and community positive vision for the show, man.
Look, he and I talked about that, though, and that is what made our banter great. He didn't like something, I did, and vice versa.
I've had enough about talking about Paul.
Whoa, sensitive much, mate? So, where's our destination according to the itinerary?
It looks like we're gonna have to meet up just on the edge of wild space with a Grisk ship and pick up some droid parts. Did Hellenix make another order from derelict droids again? I'll be back. I'm gonna go down to the cargo hold to go see if we've got any room for this stuff.
Set those coordinates in and let's get underway. I want to get out of here as soon as we can.
So, who in the world put you in contact with a Grisk trader?
Some ex-Imperial, I don't remember their name off the top of my head, but they did say they could help fund the Castaways with this shipment alone for the entire year, man.
Wait. Are these the same Grisk that Admiral Thrawn dealt with? My knowledge of new canon may be lacking here and there, but I don't recall them using droids that much at all.
So? Maybe they're just transporting it for another seller.
but then that just inflates the price even more. Hellenics can't afford inflated shipping prices. I am right. I have never seen the...
Where is that coming from? Scotty! Get back up here. We're being tailed.
What's going on? What happened to Neil? Why is that bloody alarm going off?
When we hit some turbulence up here, Neil fell out of the chair and bumped his head. Don't worry about that for right now. We're being boarded by an unknown starhopper.
Do we have any weapons on board? I know Paul didn't like any blasters.
I don't know, man. Look around.
Freeze. I want your hands where I can see them, both of you. And why is Neil on the ground?
He had an accident. I was looking for medical supplies.
I thought you told me to find weapons.
Oh, shut up, you clown.
Hynesy, can you tell me why your escape pod launch code was never used after appearing on episode 29?
Yeah. Scotty and Paul and I took the same escape pod off the ship to visit the surface back then. We all went out for a drink.
I see. And when did you return? The guest living quarters where you were staying were completely cleared out later, and the video feed cuts out for 20 minutes.
Well, about an hour and a half later, I think. I was happy to celebrate with all my good mates. We hit it up in the after party, spent time with the Patreons, and then Paul went off to post a show on the Holonet.
And what did you do at that point?
That was 3 months ago. I don't remember. Probably stuck around. It was early in the morning for me. I don't have much to do. Do you mind not pointing that at us, please?
Oh, yeah, sure, sorry. But the footage from the after party at Mos Eisley Cantina shows you leaving with Paul, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You ducked out together. I remember now.
Maybe I did. As I said, that was so long ago.
Listen, Hynesy, this story just doesn't add up. Because we obtained the footage of you stowing away on the ship that Paul took back to the freighter, and the footage from the freighter does not show you entering, but it does show you exiting. And in the gap in the footage, the escape pod status lights had all changed from green to red, and the doors were locked. Except for the one you asked Paul to send you home in the next morning.
What are you trying to get at here, Llama?
What she is trying to say, Matty, is that you nicked my keycard while I was sleeping, launched all but one of the escape pods, and then had me send you off the ship, and there was no evidence after I checked everything when I got back. You knew that Scotty and I would usually take separate pods to the after show, and usually I leave earlier than together, but that day, Scotty was quitting the game and he wanted to leave the show early. Because of this, your actions in trying to sabotage me ended up causing Scotty to become a Force ghost.
Hey, Hynesy, is this true?
Come on, mate. Why would I do a thing like that?
You didn't answer my question, man.
Seriously, come on. What motive would I have? We do harpoons and beer together, but I've got my own show.
Yes, you do. After Scotty and I gave you high praise and encouraged you to go do harpoons and beer.
Yeah, and I've got the motive. While Hynesy was busy with the show today, I had a whole team of experts search through his file. It appears he created escape podcast flyers and materials with his co-host, Scotty Mclaren.
How could you?
You made me feel like I could do anything. I couldn't pass up a chance to host with the titanium tonsils from Tamworth. Oh yeah, you got me. That L-Lock was meant for you, Paul. You screwed it up, Scotty. Going and quitting the game and leaving all of a sudden. But you have no right to think any less of me. If it wasn't for all this, you would have made those castaways, Paul. But now I see I'm going to have to take over that too.
Give it up, Hynesy. I trusted you. We were brothers.
I have the high ground.
Your tippy toes are not the high ground.
This will be a fitting end for you, Paul. Same airlock that Scotty flew out of.
This is not my grave, but yours. Scotty, quick, push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
No! It's impossible! No!
What happened?
Oh my god, mate, are you alright?
Ugh, did anybody get the plate off of that speeder bike?
Yeah, Scotty, he's gone now. Back off to his own channel, and dude, I'm glad you're back here, but you could go visit him in space anytime you want, But my name has been cleared, and I am now back on the Escape Pod cast.
Yeah, you definitely are, Paul. 100% exonerated, and I won't be investigating this as it didn't happen in core space.
Paul, you jackass!
Why can't we just bring him back like I came back, man?
You know what? Maybe someday we will, and, apparently he can still talk to me while he's in space, so, honestly, I'll let him drift out there for now, but, hopefully he won't become Purgle food.
Always the one to give people a second chance, Paul.
I truly am, but, Scotty, let's just get out of here and get things back to normal. Let's do this one last time in 2019. Scotty, push the button.
Don't mind if I do!
Ta-ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gotta be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Thank you for joining us in our inaugural year here at the Escape Pod cast.
We have all had our ups and downs this year, but every member of the show has looked forward to entertaining you week in and week out.
There's no greater joy than the laughter of friends and family. And all of our listeners and our guildmates that put up with us are both of those.
We wish you the best in 2020 and hope you will join us as we continue to support the community for the game that we all love.
Oh, and there were no Aussies hurt in the taping of any of these episodes, except for Scotty, who stubbed his toe running to the studio back in episode 14.
Hey!
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.